आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमलो फलमतो इन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु. O consciousness, please bless me so that let me become healthy. Let me not reject you. Let me not let me not you reject me, and let me realize the self as exposed in the Upanishads, and let me be the embodiment of all the spiritual values. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, as you know, we are discussing the Kenopanishad class. So Kenopanishad is one of the major Upanishad. So already we have seen the introduction and the peace chant. And the first shloka, in the first mantra, there was an opening question which was very deep indeed in the nature. So he asked by whom the mind is doing its activities, or by whose presence, or by whose command or energy the prana, the life, the life sheath or the life force is doing its activities. And who is making people to speak? Who is making, which conscious principle or which conscious entity is making to work the eyes and the ears? So this was the question, if you remember, in the first mantra we have seen. Today, actually, the second mantra also we have seen, no doubt. But today I will be taking you the Vedantic homework, actually. I'll be asking you to go, I'll be rather giving a Vedantic homework. So which you should use for a lot of churning. So after churning at the end of the class, just in 5 minutes, I will discuss the meaning of the second shloka, second mantra actually. And if you remember, in the second mantra, the Rishi has embedded 3 points, 3 topics. The first one was Atma Swarupam, the nature of the self. The second is Atma Gnanam, self-knowledge. The third is Atma Gnana Phalam, benefit of getting or attaining self-knowledge. So this is the essence actually. Now, this whole 1 hour class will be decoding this mantra. We decode the formulas, and in the secret agencies, when they get messages from the foreign countries, they try to decode the messages. So similarly, now our 1 hour of labor or a work is decoding this mantra. Okay. Now again, if you remember my coded language, to MAC. TOMAC. To MAC. So what was the T represents there? Temporariness. This body has got date of manufacture and date of death, date of expiry. So every body or any object in this universe has got date of manufacture and date of expiry. Maybe atom, maybe billions years, but still it is bound by time and space causation. T. O is object. So here everything is what object. The body, mind, atoms, including energy is also part of the object according to the Vedanta. Then M, material or the matter. Drushyatvat, we have discussed already, which is insentient in the nature. I will be discussing more details now. Okay. Yeah. Material or matter, which is insentient in nature. Then the fourth is Sagunatvam, is attributes. Sound, touch, sight. There are different qualities, attributes for these objects, attributes A. And C is what? Change. So there is a continuous change in the world and its objects, including our body and mind. So these are the five properties, five features of the object, the insentient matter. Sometimes it can be most of the objects consists all the five items, five features. Sometimes some objects might contain two or three or four, but other than this, there is no any other feature of an object. You may take gold, metal, you may take plastic, you may take uranium, or the body and mind, or the water, the solid, liquid, gases, anything you take, all the features will be in this five only. That is the beauty of Advaita Vedanta, which is giving in the everything in the nutshell, basically. Okay. So anything is insentient, it is to mak, means it is achetana. Achetana means what? Insentiency, which is the very important nature of the matter or an object. Okay. Now, one material principle. Now we have to slowly, it is like a mathematics. One point to another point, there's a logical connection. You should keep on, you should be with me now at least. Forget about the world and improving it, and we should be thinking of the Vedanta alone now. Now, the question will be, one material principle can make another material principle conscious. One material principle can or is able to make another material principle or another matter, another object conscious. Or in the layman's language, can one object make another object sentient, conscious? No. Oh, no, because we have got a bulb and electricity, it is an energy, and when you put on the light, immediately it gets glowed. Or the robots today, robots are working. AI technology has come, lot of things are happening. We all say all these things. It can work and all, but consciousness is impossible. So no matter, either it is a grass or subtle, whatever it may be, any type may be, but no matter or an object can bring consciousness to another object or another matter product. So that means there is only self or consciousness only brings the consciousness, no one else now here. That is underlined argument. Okay, that will be now unfold. Okay. Now, Tomac, now with that we'll be going against it now. Temporariness, which we saw in the object. So now the conclusions will be, if something has to be conscious, something has to be sentient, matter is not possible to bring it. Okay. Now there is some principle. Kavu deva yunakti. That was the question. Which is that shining principle? Which is making everyone to work? Which is bringing life to everyone? So we are speaking of that nature of that shining principle. Okay. Now that shining principle nature, it is against the five features of to mak. What is that? First was temporariness. Okay. Now the nature of the shining principle is eternal. Nityatvat or satyam. Was it there, the shining principle? Yes, hundreds of years before, billions of years before, yesterday, till yesterday, was it there? Yes. Is it there at present now? Yes. Tomorrow? Yes. After 10, after century, after billions of years, will it be there? Yes. So this shining principle is eternal. So you can spell either Nityatvat or Satyam. Okay. The second was Tumak O is object. Isn't it? Now, the shining principle is always subject. So it is always Druk, never Drushya. It is always subject and it is never the object. Why? Mind can be sometimes subject and mind can be sometimes object. But this shining principle is eternally subject and it is never the object. Second point. So first is eternal. The second is it is never, it is always subject. Okay. Or adrushyam, you can say, because drushyatvat we are taken there. Here you can take adrushyam. Okay. Now the third one. Now, whether the shining principle is inert or conscious, it is conscious. That's why it is able to bring the life. Because we have seen the matter or the insentient object can never bring the life or conscious to any another object. So it has to be conscious. It has to be sentient. So it is conscious. The third principle. Eternal, subject, and conscious or sentiency or sentient also you can take. Okay, third one. Now, interestingly, if you see, there is a theory called in the chemistry and biology abiogenesis. Abiogenesis. So, in 1953, there was a Muller-Urey experiment actually, where the modern chemists and biologists make saying that like amino acids, the protein material, can form simple chemicals structures under some particular conditions. But at the same time, they are also unable to tell even now how these amino acids or whatever, they are able to feel that subjective consciousness or that make it living actually. The amino acids, whatever the protein content, how it happens, how it forms, they're able to tell. Chemical reactions and all, they're able to explain. But how the life will come into that, they are not able to tell. And if you see the David, I think Chalmer, he says hard problem of consciousness. There he discusses because using the neuroscience, what brain activities, mind mapping, thoughts, emotions, thinking, all these things they are able to trace. They're able to do mind mapping and all. But still, that subjective experience, how it comes, even the present advanced neuroscience theories are unable to tell. That means what? That consciousness, the life principle, the life is cannot be given by brain or the mind or any even the subtle matter or whatever. I mean, sentiency to make you understand. I'm giving all these examples. Okay. So what was the fourth one? To make A attributes. Sagunatva we was there. Here it is nirgunatvam. It doesn't have any attributes. There's a beautiful sloka in the Kathopanishad. It is like a 1:3:15. Ashabdasparshamarupam mavyayam tatharasam nityamagandhavachayat anadyanantam mahata parandruvam nichaye tan mrutyumukhat pramuchyate. So the nature of the self is how? Ashabdam. It doesn't have any sound. Asparsham. It cannot be touched. Arupam, it doesn't have any form. Avyayam, it is immutable. Then tata and also arasam. Oh, it is very tasty. No, it is very delicious. No. So if I am thinking that my food is not delicious, that means it is an object, it is not the subject. Only 3 inches of tongue only can enjoy this taste actually. But for that, how much we spend time, energy, money, and whatnot. And many times we feel mood is out. Why? Because I'm not getting a delicious food or whatever the food I like, you see. Then we should bring the Vedanta here. Oh, my dear, it is all matter. Because I am that shining principle. Arasam. I am not delicious. I am not tasty. That doesn't mean that I am bland also. I am beyond that bland or tasty, I mean to say. Arasam. Nityam. Eternal. Then Agandha, we are using lot of scents and all. Dermatology has become very famous and very costly nowadays. We use lot of creams and all, blah, blah, whatever it may be. So Agandham, it doesn't have any smell. Means it doesn't have neither good order or bad order. Okay. And Anadi, it is beginningless. Maya is also beginningless, but it is Antam, Santam. It has got an end. But here the shining principle is Anantam. It does not have even end. No beginning, no end. No date of manufacture and no date of expiry also. Mahataha param. It is very supreme. What is it? Is beyond the great. I mean, here param mahat means it is beyond mahat actually. It is beyond the great, the first manifested. Then dhruvam. Dhruvam means it is unchanging basically. Then nichayai tan mrityumukat pramuchyate. One who understands this, such person is freed from the jaws of death. Means one who attains immortality. That's what I mean. This is told by Yama to Nachiketa. The nature of the self and the importance of the self knowledge while explaining, he explains this. So same thing. So now coming to the shining principle is attributeless. It is nirgunatvam. It doesn't have any guna. Again, the question might come, what about that Satchitananda? Satchidananda is only Swarupa, the nature. It is never the guna. That you have to keep it in mind. The fifth is what? To mag TOMA over C. C is what? Change. My body, Shantivratananda, 30 years before he was young or adolescent or little, then slowly it grew, then slowly decay has started. So there's so 6 type of changes our body undergoes. In the form of embryo, existence starts, then I take birth, then growth, then maintenance. I mean, middle age will maintain more or less, then slowly deterioration, then at some point of time, death. So 6 changes. So either 6 changes or 2, 3, 4 changes will be seen in the every object, but this shining principle is beyond any change. So there it was vikaritvam, here avikaritvam actually, with the subject. So now to remember, I have coded a language for the matter, it is to mac, TOMAC. Now for the shining principle or for the self or consciousness, keep this in the mind. Now T or E you can say. E is what? Eternal. Okay. S for subject. C for consciousness. Then T for either transcendent or formless. Then the fifth one is immutable, avikari or nirvikari. Eternal, subject, conscious, then transcendent or formless. Then I've taken formless here and immutable. So just I little rearrange and I've made it a code word to remember. Yes, kif. When you write this ESCFI, it becomes. But to remember the qualities, yes, kif. What is Brahman if you say? Brahman is yes, kif. You can say yes, kif. Means ESCIF, just I have told. So to remember, yes, kif. Anyhow. Now, the nature of Brahman, or here the word they use Deva, the shining principle is what? It is eternal. It is subject, never the object. It is sentient, it is conscious, it is not the inert. And it is formless, it doesn't have any form, any qualities, attributes. And it is immutable, it doesn't have any modifications or any changes. And who is that? This is the biodata of everyone. This is our real biodata. This is real CV of oneself. These are the 5 features of the self or the shining principle. Okay. So now coming to the point, when you analyze the world or the universe, the world is inert in nature. Okay. The second, that because it is inert and insentient, it has got 5 features. TOMAC, TOMAC. And our own body and mind also has got these 5 features. Our own body, including the mind, has got these 5 features to MAC. That means what? Our body-mind complex also, logically, including sense organs, should be, like the world, is inert in the nature. But I am thinking, since I am thinking, I think that I am sentient. Now, if the body, mind, and sense organs have got 5 features, that means they are insentient and inert in nature actually, but it is appearing that the body and mind is sentient. That's what I am thinking. That's what I am feeling. That is what my experience says. But then Vedanta says, that means, my dear, it is borrowed. The body, mind, sense organs have borrowed the sentiency, chaitanyatvam, or the sentiency from someone else, from something else. Just like on the full moon day, we see, oh, such a beautiful moonlight. I have got a moonlight dinner. The light of the moon, does it belong to the moon? No, poor moon doesn't have any light. Poor moon has to borrow the light from the sun. It has to lend that. If the sun says that, sorry, I will not lend anymore, I will not give any more loan, that means poor moon on the full moon day has to feel bad and has to be dull or whatever, not bright. But sun is gracious and compassionate enough. It is giving lending the light for the moon. So similarly, if this body, mind, and sense organs are behaving like, or we are thinking that this body, mind, sense organs are sentient, that means it is borrowed from the consciousness. Now, we are thinking that the world is real. We are thinking that the body, mind, and sense organs are sentient. Now, why are we thinking? Oh, because it is. That is the fact. Okay, fine. Can you just think little while? Can you think a little while? Is it a fact? Yes, because if by the evening dinner time I'm feeling hungry, so I'm leaving, I'm sentient. All these things I can give an example. Then when I ask you to go deeply, you'll be able to understand that because my experience is so. My experience says the world is real, body mind is real. Okay, fine, fair enough. This experience is happening from where? From whom? From how? Oh, because through our body, mind, sense organs. So your mind is creating a picture. Your sense organs are creating a picture, and you are taken for granted that is real. That through our mind and sense organs only we can get the knowledge. That is true. At the same time, it is giving the distorted image or the limited image of the truth or the reality. So the Advaita Vedanta is questioning the experience. Whatever the experience we are having in day to day at every moment, that is only limited in knowledge, or it is a distorted, it is not the real ones. Oh, I thought she is good. I thought he is good. But now only I came to know that he or she was not like that, whatever I thought. I didn't had a complete picture about situation, about a person, about an individual, or including myself. So we have got limited understandings. So similarly, this body, mind, sense organs are giving a limited understanding of the truth or of the world actually. That's what Advaita Vedanta is asking us. Okay, so our body mind has got, if you think that it has got sentiency, that means because body and mind has got body five features, it is inert. If it is behaving with sentiency, means sentiency has been borrowed by someone else. Who is that someone else? That shining principle, Kavudeva Yunakti. That is the question here. So how deep this question, now you can understand. Why Swamiji, all these things you are telling, why can't we go to few more slokas? You might get a question, but such a deep thinking is there in one sloka. Just I am trying to decipher the formula like the sloka. Kavudeva Yunakti means all this background is there. So our body, mind are the instruments through which we are experiencing the world. No doubt. Body, mind is very intimate to oneself. They are intimate objects. They are very intimate to me, no doubt, but they are very intimate objects, just like our mobile phone. Mobile phone has become a part and parcel of life. If food is not there, no problem. If we want a cell phone with internet, cell phone without internet also, then it won't work actually. It has become our part and parcel of our life, which was not in the case few years before. So similarly, the so-called body and mind is also very intimate, no doubt, because the body only comes from our birth to death actually. The mind comes before the birth, during the birth, and death. Even after the death, the mind also comes with along with us. Body will not come. Death will mind after next for next life also it comes, no doubt. They are very intimate, but they are also objects. They are object of experience. They're instruments of experience. They are the inert in the nature. Then, if they are appearing that they are sentient, that means they have borrowed the sentiency from someone else. How to understand? For example, my avastatra vichara, if you remember, if you think, you can tell. Okay. Now, the body and mind has got 5 features. That means they are inert in nature. How much ever they are close to me, how much ever they behave that they are sentient, they are the objects of instruments, are objects of experience, and they have borrowed the sentiency. This is the first step of thinking now. New thinking I am giving you. Okay. Now, second step I would like to tell. Second step of thinking or reasoning. Even though the body, mind are logically material, achetana, they appear to be sentient, chetana, living. Sentient, living means in the sense sentiency point. That means I think my body is sentient, mind is sentient and all. How? Because someone pinches, immediately I understand, oh, immediately I react. Now a dust falls on my eyes. Even before I knowing dust is falling on my eyes, as a reflexive action, reflexive protective measure, eyelids get closed. You see how beautiful, how alert they are and all we are. It is our day-to-day experience. So that means what? They have got sentiency, they have got their own intelligence. How can you say that it is not there? Yes, that's what our experience is. So body mind, though it is inert logically, but it appears as sentient. Okay, so that means what? It has borrowed the sentiency from someone else. This is the second step of thinking. I hope you are able to, come along with my, logical arguments and logical reasoning step by step. So, body, mind, sense organs, which are inert in nature, must have borrowed the sentiency from someone else or from something else. Again, from something else, I cannot tell. Why? Because an object cannot give the sentiency to another object. That means it is something conscious principle, which we call here spiritual principle or non-material principle. Okay. Now, third step of reasoning. First in is what? Body mind has got 5 features. It is inert in nature. Second is, if body and mind logically it is inert, but it appears that it has got sentiency, that means it has borrowed the sentiency from something else. Now, third step of reasoning. If body mind complex is borrowing the sentiency, means it cannot be from the matter or an object. There should be some sentient principle should exist which is capable to lend the consciousness or the sentiency or whatever. It is obvious logical conclusion here. So here the student's question is, what is that mysterious entity, Kavudeva Yunakti, which enlivens the body-mind complex, which makes the material body-mind sense complex into sentient one, which makes the insentient body-mind sense complex into sentient one. So what is that enlivening principle in the individual? That is what, if you want me to put in a simple thing, that is what the question. There is a third step of reasoning. Okay, now that is done now. Now remember the Yes-Kif, sentient principle. Yes-Kif. So the first one is what? Now the immediate question will come now. Okay, so E is eternal. That Deva shining principle should be eternal. Okay. The second is what? It is the subject, never the object. Then the C, it is sentiency, consciousness. It is not an object or inert in nature. Then what is the I? It is immutable, nirvikaratva. isn't it? All these things now you are able to remember. Then what about the last one? F. Anyone can say? Can anyone remember? Yes, Kif in that. What is the F?
Formless,
Formless.
transcendental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So everyone is following me that one. Okay, thank you. Yes, Kif. It is a formless, transcendental. Okay. Now, okay, it is a subject. It is a shining principle which has got a 5 features, which is nothing but coded language. What? Yes, Kif. Now, come on. Let us make an enquiry. Let us make a scientific enquiry. Let us make a Vedantic enquiry, or let us make a self enquiry. Obvious question will come. Obviously, we have to do that. Then the Vedanta says, or the Rishi, at least in this sloka, or in this Upanishad, is saying, my dear, if you start inquiring, you will miss it. Arre, till yesterday, till recently, you were saying you should keep on doing vichara, inquiry. Now you are saying that if you make an inquiry, you'll miss it. What is this confusing? Already we are confused, and you are adding confusion. What is this? Oh my God. Better not, don't add so many confusion, Swamiji. Try to resolve it. Why, if you go for inquiry, that means what? It becomes object of an experience, but it is the subject. From that angle, it is a very simple, high, profound, subtle truth actually. When you go for an inquiry, you try to do objectifying things. So when you go for the inquiry, self-inquiry, oh, where is that self? If you go for inquiry, then you will objectify the self, but it is the subject and it is never the object. So self-inquiry goes in vain. That is what the Rishi is trying to tell us. Shrotasya Shotram includes all these things. I'm telling you, deciphering the formula here actually. Decoding the mantra. So searching for the self, searching for the Brahman or consciousness or self-inquiry is fundamentally a trap, according to the particular sloka. Because the very idea of search is based on the mysterious one is what? An object of experience, which is different from me or the inquirer. Okay. Now, so first step what? We search because it is not an object. First, stop your search. Where? Don't search externally. Not in the Himalayas, not in the Kailasa, not in the Vaikunta, not in the Mecca, Medina, not in the Rome or Bethlehem. So stop searching externally. Okay. As Kathopanishad says, Paranchi kanani vetrunat swayambhu parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhiraga atmanam aikshatu avrutta chakshur amrutatvam ichan. One who desired immortality, they turned their vision inside. Okay, we shall close our eyes, we shall start meditating, and through meditation, we shall try to inquire and we shall try to understand. The Rishi feels that, no, my dear, that is also not going to work. Stop searching, inquiring externally and also internally. That's what Vedantins, they don't prescribe the meditation with the closed eyes. You may do it, never mind, but they don't tell. But now yoga, I mean the bhakti schools, yoga school and all, they ask us to close our eyes and meditate. But the Vedantins never, actual hardcore Vedantins will never tell us to close our eyes. Either way, you may doze off. First one is. Second is what? You close and what you search, we don't know inside. When the consciousness is so palpatably available at every moment and at every place, why you want to close your eyes to feel that I am that self? So, with open eyes, let me see. That is what hardcore Vedantin says. Anyhow. Now, so stop your search. It is not an object. Stop the search externally and internally because it is never the object, it is not the object of experience. Then what it is? It is the subject, it is the subject of experience. It's subject of experience, just I'm telling you, it is as a limitation of language, it is the subject. Okay, Okay, it is not object, I understand. It is not object of experience, I understand. Now, who is the subject? This fellow. Who is this fellow who is called this subject? Again, new one. Who is this subject? Now, what is the link between me and him? Now, how to understand this subject? Okay, subject has got 5 features. Escape. Okay. Biodata of subject is what? Escape. Then who is this subject? New fellow. I am that subject. So there is no essentially, there is no difference between I and the subject. That's what when you say Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman, there is no difference between I and the Brahman. Brahman and the I both are one and the same. So when I am that, why are you going to search? In the Kabir Doha, there's a beautiful Doha. In the Doha, they tell the deer, reindeer has got the beautiful scent in its own womb, and it is going entire forest. It is searching for the in the entire forest, searching for that because it is able to smell that fragrance, and it is go on searching, 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 and in the search, in the vain search, it dies. So I am that already, and I am go on searching everywhere, either internally or externally, which is in vain. So stop searching. And it is the subject which has got 5 features, and it is not material, and it is conscious principle. I hope you are able to digest, and you are able to understand, and you are able to follow. So 5 features of object you have understood, 5 features of subject you have understood, and I am that subject. Okay. And I am that subject, and I am that conscious principle. Okay. So what is that Deva means in a simple language, if you want me to tell, Avastatraya Sakshi Chaitanya. One who is available, one who is experiencing all these 3 states of experience, who is as a witness, he is experiencing the waking state, experiencing the dream state, experiencing the deep sleep state, and who is beyond all these 3 states. He is there. He's not doing anything. Okay, with this background, now let us enter into the shloka. So this much background we need to enter the shloka, to enter the second mantra. So what I told, the 3 topics, Atma Swarupam or Deva Swarupam, isn't it? The first 3 lines, from Shrotrasya Shrotram to Chakshushta Chakshuhu, till there, Atma Swarupam has been explained. Okay, then Gnanam, Atma Gnana, we said, here it is not told directly, but it is only mentioned. I will explain. The third is what? Gnana Phalam. Atma Gnana Phalam. So that is Atimuchya Asman Lokat Pretya Amruta Bhavanti. Atimuchya Dhiraha Pretya Asmat Lokad Amruta Bhavanti. So third, half, and fourth line is what? The third topic has been discussed now. Okay, now we will go into the topic. So Kavu Devayunakti, which is that shining principle which is making everyone to work, which is like a energy powerhouse. That is what the question. Now, that is what definition of the divine principle, Atma Swarupa or Deva Swarupa is telling. Now, the problem of the Rushi or the Guru is what? As already I told you, he has got some problems now. He also has got some problems. We also have got problems. He also has got a problem. What is that problem? If the teacher directly tells, oh my dear, Kavu Deva Inokti, you asked, the shining principle. Consciousness is the shining principle. He will make a simple, straightforward answer. If Rushi makes an imtan, what happens? Then I will go in search of it, this conscious principle. Means what? There is a problem of objectifying the consciousness. How much ever I say consciousness is not an object and its subject, we objectify including the consciousness. Because that is our nature, because the limitation of the mind. Mind without name and form, it cannot think anything. You say, oh, we shall do Vedantic meditation. Okay, we shall think about self. Please know that self doesn't have any name. Self has given name already. Self doesn't have a form. When I say, okay, then you start thinking either is like a patch of blank, or like a patch of light, a patch of mountain, a patch of sky, some or other form, knowingly, unknowingly, our mind imagines. Without name and form, I can't think. My mind cannot think. So we objectify the consciousness also. This is one problem. Okay. And if they says that consciousness is the divine principle, then what happens? Oh, that means it is something somewhere, it is there, it is very ancient, it is very sacred, it should be protected or whatever. Then I may go to some religious places, sacred places to find out or whatever. So this is what it happens. Now he has to give the answer. That is the reason he is giving indirectly answer. Like minus into minus plus, we all know that that idea, that formula has been used in the most of the Upanishads, which we cannot express it, but they are trying to express how by giving a different two opposites they are trying to explain. This is what the style adopted by Upanishad. What? Shrotrasya Shrotram, ear of the ear. Manaso Manoyad, mind of the mind. When you read this translation, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, you can't make any sense. And people say, oh, Upanishads are common senseless, are they primitive in nature, and they don't know. Themselves, they're confused. They are not able to tell what it is. If you don't know the secret, if you don't know that, that's where we need a guru and parampara. If you don't know, we cannot decipher these hidden formulas. Then you can say that then why am I attending your class, Swamiji? Because I'm already that. There is no need of enquiry. There is no need of doing anything. Then why should I attend your class? Yes. Or why should I think about it? Why should I do japa, meditation, spiritual practice, whatnot? Why should we do all these things? At least at this foremost time is why should we attend your class? Vedantic classes on Thursdays you take. Why? Because only to remove the wrong understanding or misconception. So Vedanta is only trying to remove the wrong understanding, misunderstanding. And that wrong understanding, misunderstanding is where? In our mind. When mind is purified, when mind is set right, then all the problem comes. All the problem is solved. That's what in the yoga class, whoever is attending my Saturday classes, you are understanding that. So there were yoga chittavritti nirodha. Mind has been stopped, all its activities. When there is no mind, then Purusha is free because no misidentification. So same thing here. All our sadhana is what? Japa, meditation, mind control, fasting, or this inquiry, studies, all this is what? To make the mind proper. Because that is the instrument through which we have to understand everything. Okay, so now you have to be very clear about it. So bandha and mukti, both bondage and liberation is for your mind, not for the self. Self was free, self is free, self will be free. I am that self. Again, self is not someone else again. So don't objectify the self even. I am that self. Okay. Now, so consciousness is the divine principle of the disciple or the seeker. But there is a problem of objectification. And okay, then definitely if you are following my what do you say, the line of argument seriously, and if you are able to follow, just immediately you will get that line. Okay, like ahamasmi brahma, you could have said, okay, I am the divine principle, or you are the divine principle, tattvamasi, you could have said very clearly, or pragnatmam pragnanam brahma, the pragna is what? The Brahman, the consciousness is Brahman. He could have said why he did is selling all indirect way. Then the Rishi is thinking, here it is an underlying argument. When you say that I am Atma Brahma, I am that, or Ahamasmi Brahma, I am that Brahman, unfortunately, my I is attached with body mind complex. When I say I am that Brahman, there are a chances of misunderstanding. I am that Brahman means body mind is Brahman. Virochana's case in the Upanishad comes. He says, the Prajapati, or Brihaspati or Prajapati, he asks, when Virochana Indra listens that whoever understands the Atman, they can rule the world. Then both of them, they wanted power. They went to the Prajapati and they asked, please let us know who is this Atman. He said to do tapas for a few years, 12 or 32 years, and afterwards he told only one statement, go and see in the water. Whatever you see, that is what the Atman. Obviously, when you go and see in the water, what will appear? Our own reflection, body reflection. Virochana thought, Indra thought, okay, this body has been reflected there. So body is the Atman. They went and they told to Prajapati. Prajapati smiled. Then they thought he agreed, and both of them left. Virochana said, this body is the Atman. So if you have got a good knowledge, you can rule the world. Then what to do? Take care of it. Either by hook or crook, by killing people, by cheating people, whatever it may be there. That's how demonic nature we can see. Then Indra, while traveling, he thought, no, Atman should be supposed to be eternal, whatever. Body is not eternal. I think there is a problem in my understanding. That there is something fishy here. And he came back. And his Vedantic inquiry or Vedantic process started. So again, teacher has got this problem. If I say I am that Brahman immediately, then body mind can be the problem. Body mind can be the self. There can be misunderstanding. So because of these two problems, the Rishi has taken, the teacher has taken to explain Kavudeva Yunakti in the indirect way. Okay. What is that? He is giving the reply here. Shrotrasya Shotram, ear of the ear, Manaso Manoyad, the mind of the mind, Vachoha Vacham, speech of the speech. Then Savu, that one, Pranasya Prana, the life of life, energy of energy. Then Chakshushta Chakshuhu, the eye of the eye. So, what does it mean here all? So, from all these things, 2 or 3 points, the Rishi is trying to make us understand. Means it is the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, prana of the prana. Means what? It is the consciousness which is different from these sense organs and the mind. The first ingraded, embedded, subtle truth from this whole things is, first one is what? There is a shining principle called consciousness or the deva, which is different from this body, mind, sense organs. First point we should understand. Okay. And it is this conscious principle which is different from the mind and sense organs, no doubt, but it pervades all these mind and sense organs and which is making them to work. It is different from them, different from the instruments, but it exists in the instrument and it is making them to work. Like electricity and bulb. Electricity is different from the bulb. When you switch on, electricity is in the bulb and electricity is making the bulb to glow. So consciousness is different from the mind and sense organs and it exists in them and it is making them to do their activities. And I am that witness. The shining principle is the witness, conscious principle, who is aware of the body, mind, sense organ, and whose mere presence they do their activities. Just like Prime Minister is sitting in the office. He is not doing anything. He may be chatting with his family, friends, or whatever. He may be there in his office. But just mere his presence, many people will be doing their work in their offices, respective offices. So Prime Minister is there. I mean, just I'm giving a very crude example, so don't take it literally again. So like that. So by the mere witness or by the mere presence of the consciousness, all the body, mind, sense organs, they are doing their respective actions. So consciousness is not a part, product, or property of the body. Consciousness is not the part, product, or part of the body. We thought consciousness can be product of the body. Materialism speaks. Some of the scientific researchers and scientists also speak. Product of the body, consciousness, product of the mind. No. Consciousness is neither the part nor the product or property of the body. Okay. Consciousness is an independent spiritual principle. Spiritual means what? Non-material. So you should be very clear. So consciousness is an independent, non-material principle which pervades and enlivens the body. It is a bit mathematical today, I know that, but you will be able to follow. If we can keep these things in the mind, it will be helpful to understand Vedanta or Vedantic way, and it can be made, it can be reflected in our lives also. And consciousness is not limited, cannot be limited by the boundaries of the body. Then consciousness survives even after the death or even after the fall of the body. Then pure consciousness is inaccessible from anything and everything. Consciousness is not the part, product, and the property of the body. First one, consciousness is an independent, non-material principle which pervades and enlivens the body. These are the things which you have to understand from the sloka. Then, consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of the body. Okay. So consciousness survives even after the death or fall of the body. Okay. Then pure consciousness is not accessible to anyone. Sa eva deva. Who is this deva? This is the deva. Okay. Then the second is what? Gnatva, the nature of self. I am that Atman, which is non-material, unobjectifiable consciousness principle. This is which has to be taken for inferred from the shloka actually. I am that Atman, which is non-material, unobjectifiable consciousness principle. Okay, already has been told. Okay. Now the third, which is very, very beautiful and very important, we can discuss for 1 or 2 hours. Atimuchya dhiraha pretya asmad lokad amruta bhavanti. Dhiraha. Dhira, in Indian vernacular languages, dhira is generally translated or is understood as courageous. One who has got great valor, but it is not true. One who has got great valor, like soldiers, one who doesn't care about their life, they fight, or the person, for example, we keep reading such a heroic incidents, someone in the water or in the flood, someone is getting washed out and people don't care about themselves and they jump and they protect the animals, they protect the living, beings. So they manifest their courage. So that is what shuraha, but not the dhiraha. That is shura or veera. That is because from their physical capacity and their mental willpower, you can say Shura and Veera, but not the Dhira. Dhira means what? Dihi, one who has got Dihi awakened. Dihi means what? Intuitive power or refined, cultured intellect. One who has endowed with a refined, cultured intellect is called Dhira. In the Vedantic language, one who has got sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, fourfold prerequisites. Now you can understand why I always tell start from Tattva Bodha. Oh, what is this sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, Swamiji? I say care of Tattva Bodha class. 4 prerequisites. So one who has got cultured, refined intellect to grasp the subtle Vedantic truths, such person is called Dhira. So that Dhira means what? He has already refined intellect he has got. He can understand the Vedantic subtle truths because he has got 4 prerequisites, or rather intuitive faculty has been awakened. Such a person, Dhiraha, when he understands that who am I, again, understand is a limited usage, we should be careful. He will get 3 phalas, 3 types of fruits, or 3 fruits he gets. What are them? One is Atimuchya. What is Atimuchya? Giving up. Shankaracharya in his commentaries, he says sannyasa, renunciation. People tell, oh, one who reads that, he has to take sannyas, she has to take sannyas. No, again, it is a wrong way of interpretation. So their sannyasa means what? Giving up. Giving up what? Internal renunciation. Aham mama tyagaha. Ahankara mamakara tyagaha. Giving up of I-ness and minus. Or in the management language, if you ask me, I know, management people won't accept it, but from Vedantic point, I am telling, giving up the ownership and the controllership. Physically, you need not to give, but mentally one can live, then give up, then one can be happy. Atimuchya means what? Giving up the ownership and the controllership. I built this office, so I should be your boss and people should listen to me. Everything should be under my control. That's what daughter-in-law comes, mother-in-law will have a problem of controlling. So all our life is what? This I-ness and minus. Kurukshetra war happened what? Because of Ahankara and Mamakara. Dhritarashtra, he was blind, physically blind. Not only that, his mind was blinded by the Ahankara and Mamakara. As a result, Kurukshetra war happened. All our life, so much problems are happening because of this. Only two problems, two deficiencies: ahankara and mamakara. I and mine, I and mine, which is born out of selfishness. Selfishness, okay. Renouncing I and mine, okay. So, what does it mean? How do you know that? Okay, someone tell, oh Swamiji, I don't bother anything, I don't care for anything, I do my duty and I keep myself quiet, I keep myself happy. Such statements we keep on hearing. Now, what is the blue litmus test? We need not to get certificate from anyone. If we want to study ourselves, we have to understand ourselves. How to understand? Fear, insecurity, anxiety. If you have come out, or if it has been reduced, fear, fear about the future, fear about tomorrow, fear about what will happen, fear, insecurity, existential problem. Most of us, we have got insecurity problem because of existential problem, because of that anxiety. There is no problem, but because of insecurity, anxiety will come into picture and we think there is a problem. There is a problem. You don't understand, Swamiji. You don't have problem because you are not a family person like us. Yes, no doubt. But Swamis will have their own problems. So fear, insecurity, and anxiety. The more and more it reduces, that means the more and more I and minus is reducing. So no one has to give a certificate. No one has to tell us whether it has been reduced or not. One can examine oneself. So if I am really becoming Vedantic, this fear, anxiety, insecurity will be reducing. If it has not been reduced, Vedanta has become an academical subject for us. Just like we read science, just like we read mathematics, just like we read any language or biology, we are reading Vedanta also. It will have its own effect, no doubt. Otherwise, people might not come to my class next time. It will have its effect, no doubt. But fear, insecurity, and anxiety has to be reduced. That is the blue litmus test. If you are becoming more and more spiritual, if you are going towards God, if you are going towards self-knowledge, that means these three things reduce us. I always say Vedantic program is FIR reduction program. In India, FIR has got a very negative connotation, a negative meaning. That is here FIR. It's a coded language again. I will explain you. FIR capitals. FIR reduction program Vedanta is actually. What do you mean by FIR reduction program? F stands for frequency. Okay, F stands for frequency. I stands for intensity. R stands for recovery period. So Vedanta program is what? Vedantic course is what? FIR reduction course, FIR reduction program. What does it mean now? Frequency. How frequent I am getting anxiety? Okay, I know everything, but my anxiety is not getting reduced. Okay, now I am trying to meditate, I am trying to study Vedanta, Upanishads, or whatever. So, then is it the frequency of your getting anxiety or insecurity feeling, fear is getting reduced? Frequency has to be reduced. It is not possible to give up everything at a time. So we should be very clear, but it has to be reduced. The frequency has to be reduced. Okay. FR frequency will understand. I have got a short temper problem. Yes, understand, accept, try to resolve it. Then slowly, that frequency has to be reduced. 10 times I'm getting in a day, at least after a month, I should get only 9 times. Even that much improvement is done. Okay, good. Kaizen rule, small improvements. Okay, never mind. But there should be improvement. Okay. Frequency. Then second is intensity. It was so intense. It was so panic. I was obsessed. My mind was obsessed. I had to go for counseling. I had to take tablets. Such an intensity. Now after reading Upanishads, the intensity is coming down. Yes, I'm getting anxiety. I am getting fear. I'm getting insecurity. Frequency has reduced. Not only that, intensity also has to reduce. Okay, then recovery period. I got anxiety. I got anxiety. Understanding itself is the biggest improvement in our life. Many times people don't understand and they keep on suffering. If you have understood that you have got anxiety, if at all there is an anxiety, if you have understood, there is a first step of progress. Understanding afterwards, accepting, second level of progress. After accepting, you are trying to solve it, resolve it, reduce it. Third is, then the fourth is how much time it is taking you to recover from that problem. I was so angry today. Fine, but after that, how much time it took for you to recover? I was in stress. My mind was stressed. No doubt. How much time it took for you to recover from that? I mean, we are all human beings, definitely. We will all get how much ever we speak, how much ever Vedantic we speak, and all, we will get all these things, never mind. But frequency has to reduce, intensity has to reduce. And one more important is what? Recovery period also has to be increased. Earlier, stress, if I get a stress, I used to take weeks, then few weeks, then 1 week, then 5 days, 3 days, 2 day, 2 days, 1 day, few hours, few minutes, recovery period. It is like,
Recovery time should also reduce, not increase.
oh, sorry, yeah, okay, yeah. So recovery period means as early as possible, you should recover from these things. Yes. So recovery should be fast. So FIR reduction program. See, Vedanta is only theoretical, hypothetical. There is no use. People accuse Vedanta is never practical. It is all nonsense. We don't study Vedanta properly. If you study Vedanta, then what? If Vedanta course is what? FIR reduction program. All these things has been told in the Pretya Asmad Loka Dhiraha. One who is Dhira, he will get distinction, he will get out in the FIR reduction program. In Swami Vivekananda's life, we can see this. In Swami Shardanji is a best example. Swami Shardanji was told as a fish-blooded person, cold-blooded, fish-blooded or whatever. Why? He never used to get angry. If he gets, in no time it is to go away. They give an example like you draw a line in the water. There is no mark. That is what in the Brahmagnani it happens. Then you draw a line on the wall by a pencil. It will take little time. Then you draw the line on the sketch pen. Then you draw a line on the permanent marker. Then you draw a line on the wall using the a sharp glass. Then clearing the line, which will in every instance, it will take more and more recovery period actually. So all our anger, all our problems should be like line in the water or maybe pencil on the wall. That's what I mean, recovery period. Okay. How it is happen? Samadukka sukhasvastaha. Equanimity in all this affair of opposites. For that, what should do? Again, I have got one more program called CCCC program, 3C program. There are so many programs today. So FIR reduction program. How FIR reduction program can be achieved? It is by 3CCC programs. What do you mean by 3CCC programs? The first C stands for calmness. Try to be calm as much as possible. It is not easy, but possible. It is difficult, yes, but possible. It is difficult, but possible. It is not easy. So don't think that Swami Shantivratananda is saying that all these things are easy. No, I am not telling. I am telling very clearly, it is all difficult. These are all very difficult. Very, 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 very difficult, but possible. So calm. Then the second C is what? Cheerful. Swamiji used to say, never get out with a longing morning face. You don't have a right to spoil others' mind or mood or whatever. So be cheerful. And Swami Akhandanji says that we had never seen Sri Ramakrishna had a longing face. You see, he was known for his Vyakulata, no doubt. He used to cry for mother and he used to cry whenever he used to remember mother and all. Tears used to roll down on his cheeks and all. We know all that, but he was never morose. So many times that's why I'd never like to see few dramas on Sri Ramakrishna. Why? Because their crying will become very sometimes morose face they make it, and it will create a very bad image of Sri Ramakrishna in our minds. Except only one old Bengali film about Sri Ramakrishna, which is very beautiful according to me. Except that till now I have not seen any other films which has come on Sri Ramakrishna, because I am fear that Sri Ramakrishna was never morose, and these people, unfortunately, because of the limitations, they don't understand bhava, they make a morose faces. Anyhow, cheerful. The third C is what? Confident. confident of facing difficulties, confident of facing the future, confident of facing the concerns or whatever. Yes, the all will come. All these things, problems will come, challenges will come, no doubt. No one is spared from that. So let us face it. Let us accept it. Let us face it. Let us rise it or whatever. So confident. So 3CC program, 3C program. So FIR reduction program and 3CC program. All these things comes with what? Atimuchya. So you should not miss that point. Oh, Swamiji is doing a management class today or a mind management class program today. No, I am taking Vedanta class. These are what you say, side track program, side track things just to make Vedanta interesting and how Vedanta can be put into practice and how beautiful. So all these things I am telling in connection of Dhira and Atimuchya. Who is Atimuchya? He is only Dhira. Atimuchya, giving up. What is giving up? Ahankara and Mamakara. When you give up Ahankara and Mamakara, what happens? One, fear, insecurity, anxiety. FIA will be reduced. The second is again one more reduction, FIR reduction. Frequency, intensity, and of course recovery has to be reduced. Okay. The third is what? 3C programs, 3 courses of Vedanta I have given today. So this is what we mean internal sannyasa. Wearing akar robe is what external sannyasa. Internal sannyasa is very, very important, which is giving up the ahankara and mamakara, I-ness and minus. So then asmat lokat pretya. Dhiraha atimuchya, okay. Pretya, one who is attaining. Asmat lokat amruta bhavanti. Asmat lokat pretya. Pretya is giving up, dropping. Asmat lokat. After dropping the body in this mundane universe, means after the death, amrutaha bhavanti. He or she attains the immortality. Again, attaining immortality is only in the limitation, in the limited sense we should take. He becomes immortal, he attains immortal. Means what? He loses his pseudo individuality. So called individuality will be lost. Like Ganga merges in the Ganga Sagar, in the Bay of Bengal. Ganga loses her identity. Here loses identity means what? The Sukshma Sharira or the mind is being destroyed, dissolved. When there is no mind, there is no reflecting medium, then there is no concept of individuality. That is what Amrita Bhavanti here. Attains immortality means what? That so-called individuality in the limited sense will be dissolved, is destroyed. Or you can say in other way, there was a line appearing in the water. That line appearing has been removed. There was a stick on the water and they said, oh, this water body is yours and the other side water body is mine, and they removed the stick. What happened? There's only one water body whose it is yours and where it is mine. So the stick was making that there are two properties. Just like 1947 before, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh was one. After 1947, one country became 3 countries. And anytime it can be erased and it can be made one country or whatever. Isn't it? So what happens? Amrita Bhavanti, when Brahmajnana happens, all these things in Tattva Bodha, Aprokshanabhuti I have discussed. Just I'll make a mention that your Agami karma, or sorry, Sanchita karma will be destroyed. Whatever it was in your bank balance, bank will get nil. All your karma phala, which has been accumulated in the previous lives, in the present life, everything will be removed, destroyed. And no more accumulation of fresh. No more debits or credits, however you want to take. So no agami karma, no sanchita karma. Whatever the prarabdha karma, whatever it was in your wallet, just empty it. That's what prarabdha karma. Once prarabdha karma is done, your karma balance sheet gets nil. No debits, no credits, no surplus, no deficit. Everything becomes standstill. Accounts close. Bank manager closes your account. So similarly, the nature closes your account. Means no debits, no credits, no surplus, no deficit. That is what happens from the karma. So water became ice, ice becomes water. Just like mukti can be understood in a simple way. I'm trying to make you understand. So I was free, I am free, I will be free. In between only I was getting disturbed. I was thinking that I was bound. Who was bound actually? Because of the mind, through the body and mind, I was thinking I am bound, but actually it is not so. So atimuchya pretya asmad lokad amrutha bhavanti. One who has got atimuchya, one who understands that I am the self, he attains atimuchya. Atimuchya, three courses I have told. FIA, FIR, and 3C. Once you get that, you will be a realized person or attains immortality. That will be your last birth. Tata, bye bye. No more kindergarten, no more schools, no more study, exams, assignments, no more struggling, anything. Then what happens to me? Oh, you are that and you are that, you will be that. Again, all pronouns only, no nouns are there actually. When you start explaining the Brahman and all pronouns only, no nouns at all. So this is what when you decode the second shloka or second mantra of the Kenopanishad, so many things we can understand. Such a beautiful, sublime truths are there in the Upanishadic mantras. I thought only all of you are serious students and what you said, serious and sincere and whatever. That's the reason I try to decipher all these things. Otherwise, I would have given simple explanations and I would have covered 2 or 3 more shlokas actually. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishnarpanamastu.
Maharaj, I have one question.
Mhm.
So you said that my question is that is it right to equate sentience with consciousness? For example, in material world, you have laws of physics, right? Which does not require you to use consciousness to explain things like emergence of color, etc. So I think this sentience, this I-ness, this first person experience emerges as a fact that mind functions. Mind functions, therefore first person experience emerges. But so that means the sentience is a property of mind, not of pure consciousness.
Okay. Now, my nail is growing. My nail is growing. Is it sentient or insentient?
It's insentient.
No, but it is growing automatically.
But by material laws,
Hmm.
like we are eating food and it is growing. Like
So it is insentient, isn't it? But we think that because the Nile is growing, it is sentient. We think that. We assume it sometimes with hairs, with our body, everything, isn't it?
it's true.
So probably we use the sentience in a very limited language or limited understanding in our day-to-day things actually. Here, sentiency means what? Conscious. I mean, from the Vedantic view or in this contextually, when I use the word sentiency, I mean sentiency is what? Conscious.
But even this first person experience is a product of mind, right?
Okay.
This
When you say first person of experience, what do you mean by that?
like seeing the world, tasting the world, that feeling that there is a subject and a separate object, this whole subject object pairing,
Hmm.
I think it is a creation of mind.
Yes, of course, no doubt.
So then this, so when we say that such who like, so it's therefore first person experience is not pure consciousness, right?
Yes, yes. I think this I've told in elsewhere. Now, when you say I, generally when we say I, generally our I is unfortunately or fortunately it has been referred to body and mind. Then when I say I am that Brahman, that's what I told. Two problem of consciousness. When you say that Brahman is consciousness, then the problem is objectification. And the second problem is okay, you tell that I am that shining principle. When you tell immediately, because we are so much attached to our body and mind and etc. As a result, we think that I am that body and mind, and so that I means our Brahman is body and mind, or the Deva, your Deva principle, yes, spiritual principle is what body and mind we think actually. So I, when you say in our day-to-day things, in our transactions, we use I, it is only with body and mind. But when Upanishad is saying I, it is always I is referring to the first person I is referring to consciousness, not the body and mind. That's what Advaita Vedanta is asking us to shift that the the I attached with body and mind to the I should be attached to consciousness. So it is asking us to make the shift from body mind to the self. Actually, in the Brahma Sutra, I think it is a beautiful discussion, which it is a very simple and profound. I am telling, I don't know how many of you will understand. Actually, in the Adhyasa Bhashya, these discussions comes. Okay, when you say there is only Atman or Brahman, then what about this world which we are experiencing? That is what the question comes, actually, isn't it? In the Adhyasa Bhashya, they say it is like Tama Prakashavat. Tamas is what? Darkness. Prakasha is what? Light. The light and the darkness is coexisting. Can light and darkness coexist? No. But still, so the world is existing. The world is appearing, or the world is true. It is as good as like Tama and Prakasha is there. So they say Tama Prakasha, etc., etc., all the things. They say it is Anirvachaniyapa. Swami Vivekananda in Jnana Yoga tells beautifully, the Vedantins are sincere and they tell that we don't know. Inexplicable has been told Swamiji in a beautiful language that we don't know. Vedantins are sincere to tell how this Brahman is appearing as the world, we don't know. Okay. And there's a beautiful point. Okay, for logical sense, how much ever I say I am the Brahman and Brahman alone exists that all, then immediately people will say, okay, what about this world then? Because I'm experiencing it, which is more palpable, which is more truth or tangible. Then Vedanta says, okay, at this given point of time, world is real for you. So we are telling that Brahman is appearing as real. Okay. For time being, your inquisitiveness will be quenched. Your intellectual hunger will be quenched. Then afterwards, you start thinking Brahman is conscious. And this world is inert, unconscious. How conscious and unconscious can appear as unconscious? Which has got totally opposite. When you ask, then they will tell, come on, my dear, now you have come to our track. Now the Vedantins say, only if consciousness or conscious is appearing as unconscious or the self is appearing as matter and mind, then only you can make some logical discussion or argument or whatever. Otherwise, there is nothing else, which is simple and profound. Only when conscious is appearing as non-conscious, unconscious, then that is the only way. That is the only way or path which we can try to make some reconciliation. Otherwise, there is no way to reconcile. But again,
Yeah,
I mean, it is very difficult to make people understand, to accept also. That's the reason I don't tell this always.
I think one example can explain this is like I can play the role of a statue, but the statue cannot play a role of a living being.
Yes, you are right. I think that there's a beautiful, I mean, yes, I think elsewhere I told this example. Now, I mean, take an example of Gandhi. General statue of Gandhi is what? Gandhi holding a stick and standing fellow. And crows, pigeons are sitting on the head of a Gandhi and it is making all nonsense and all. It is living, pulling shoot and all. But why then pigeons and the crows are not feared of Gandhi's stick? Because they are aware that is useless or it doesn't do anything. So that's what. Why? Because there is no consciousness in that Gandhi statue. That's why the stick has not been used. So if there is no consciousness, there may be instrument called body and mind, but nothing happens. Nothing works actually. Yeah.
I have one question related to you said that with that the right understanding, the Sanchita karma gets destroyed, and after that, like one gets liberated from this birth life cycle. Regarding the agami karma, so like as long as the body mind is there, any action will create some kind of fruit. So for a realized soul, so those actions are exhausted during the lifetime of this, like whatever, like some action which is not going to have the fruit immediately, but as per your theory of nothing gets stored anymore, so what happens to
Yes.
that part of the world?
Yeah. Here only Swami Vivekananda has given a beautiful explanation in the Karma Yoga. Our intention matters the most. The intention is the force by which you can save your energy and you can lose your energy. Loss of energy can happen through action. Through action, if the intentions are pure, the energy will be stored. It is a very scientific and rational psychological explanation Swami just given. Okay. Now, a Agnani is doing a karma because he is thinking is a karta and is a bhokta, is an doer and is enjoyer. So the results will be stored in him. Okay, which will be fructified later. That is what agami karma, which is doing fresh accumulation fresh. Now the Brahmagnani, he knows that naham karta, naham bhokta. I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer. I am that self, indestructible self. The body and mind is doing its actions. That's all. So when there is no agentship, doership or the controllership or the ownership, that action cannot create, cannot build any fruits and the impressions in the doer's mind. As a result, no accumulation of the fresh karma phala. It is like a drawing the line in the water. That's how it happens actually.
So I'll take a very crude example, like a Gyani also putting his finger in the fire will get that burn. So he will be able to dissociate himself, saying that the body, his finger, which is part of the body, got burnt, and he won't be affected if he is able to isolate himself from like. So this is a crude example in the sense of immediate action giving immediate fruit. And so there the quality of the Gyani to be able to dissociate himself, to see that okay, the finger was put in the fire and that's why the finger has got burned, it has nothing to do with it. So like that you are negating the agami phal.
No, no. Okay, this is a beautiful question. I will. This is a beautiful point. Is though it's a crude, you say that I will now. I will make an analysis. Now, an Agnani, he keeps his finger in the fire. Then he burns his finger. Then what does he do? He starts crying because of the pain. He may, what do you say, or he may say the, what you say, he may start scolding the fire. Hey, fire, how merciless you are. You burnt my finger. Or no one told me. My mama didn't tell, my papa didn't tell, my uncle didn't tell, or XYZ didn't tell. Why they didn't tell me that fire will burn me? Or I may make someone else is a cause for me. Okay. Or I'm feeling very morose or whatever. Okay. All these things are what I am reacting. These reactions is what is accumulation, all the impressions and karma phala. Okay. Now Brahmagnani puts his hand. His hand got burnt. As a pain, as a human body, because he has got a pain, he might cry even at that given moment of time. Okay. But he will never criticize us. He never makes others as a doership or agent for all these things. And he doesn't carry the impressions of these things. Okay. He tells objectively, okay, in the simple way, crude way, again, I'm telling you. So, okay, I kept my finger into the fire unknowingly. Now, in the fire, if anything the object put, it gets burnt. So unknowingly I had kept, it has been burnt. Okay, now, so now onwards or next time onwards, I'll be careful with the fire. He will have an objective outlook. He will not have subjectivity there. I will give a simple example. You will understand. I think Chandrasekhara Bharati, he was one of the pontiff of the Shringeri Mutt. He was known as Jivan Mukta, means liberated while living. Okay. He was supposed to do one puja because they have a lot of pujas every day, and one that special puja which will take few hours. But he had a very high fever. They have got willpower and all, but whatever is there, they get up, they take a cold water bath, and they do this japa meditation and also much whatever. They don't generally try to, stop it, whatever it may be. And it was such a high fever, and anyone can understand that a common person cannot do it now. Now everyone is astonished, and they were also anxiety. What will do our acharya, our Swami? What he will do because such a high fever? Even though he is a Jivan Mukta, his body also has got its own nature, body dharma, Sharira dharma is there. What he will do? He, for his danda, that whatever the stuff they will have, because of his yogi, through his yogic power, spiritual power, he transferred that fever to that danda. He had that power. Okay. Now he did that whole puja. And the people who have witnessed this incident, they were saying that the Danda was shivering because of that fever or whatever the reasons. You can bring your own reasons, but the Danda was shivering, it seems. Okay, now puja all has been done. Now, if I and you were there, what we would have done? I have got that power to transfer the fever to Danda. It has been there. Let it be there with. I will be happy. But Chandrasekhara Bharati, he took back that fever again on his body. He was about to take that fever. Then the disciple said, "What, Guru? Why are you taking? You have got such a power. You have been shifted to Danda. Danda is shivering. Let it shiver. What is there? Because it is insensate. It doesn't feel any pain or whatever suffering. Let it go. After some time, it will go away. Why are you taking back? And why you want to suffer?" He says, "No, because my prarabdha karma phala, because of that, this fever has come to this body and I have to finish it. Otherwise, this will come in different form. So let me finish it off. Let me exhaust." And he took back that fever, highest fever, high fever on his body, and he didn't suffer. His body was suffering, probably because of that fever, Sharira Dharma, but he never felt that I am suffering. See the difference between the Brahmagnani and the common people. So there are no reactions. The reactions build the impressions and the karma phala. That's one of the important part actually. No reactions, no bondages actually. Yeah, that's where this aparigraha and other things, and we should, like for monk, it has been told, I'm not supposed to even give a retarding replies as seriously speaking. If someone beats me, I'm not supposed to beat it back and all. They tell why? Because if you react, then you are bound. But not for the grostha, not for the family person, all these things are told. We should not trouble anyone. If someone comes to trouble, we should protect the society, we should protect the family, we should protect oneself. No. So this thing is only for, titiksha has been told, extreme titiksha is only for monks. That's where Buddhism made this titiksha ahimsa universal dharma, and that's where India went down, according to me anyhow. Hmm.
Maharaj, I
Yeah,
have one
thanks.
question.
Hmm.
Like for an enlightened being, like how does this karta and karma phala work? Because the ahankara is always a function of the mind, and the ahankara includes association. The mind includes association with the body. Will always say like, I am the person who is doing this. So, like, how do you say, like, the enlightened person dissociates himself with that ahankara of the mind?
Yes. So Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example here. If you remember, if you are at a gospel and if you remember, Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. Now, there was a rope. Okay. Rope caught the fire. But here again, I'm not taking Raju Sarpa, snake and rope, I'm not bringing, just rope. Rope got fire. Rope
Okay.
caught fire and has been burnt. And no one has disturbed that ashes. As a result, there was a formation of that rope shape even. But if you touch it, you will get like just dust, ashes, but you don't get the rope. There is a structure, but the rope has been lost its power of binding because it has been burnt. Or the best example, Sankhya gives a very beautiful, and Patanjali Yoga Sutra also gives a beautiful example, Dagdabija Avastha. For example, paddy. Paddy grains you have stored in your house few years before it is there. 10 years, 20 years, or whatever. Then afterwards, you thought, okay, we will sow. And you sow that paddy seeds, and it sprouts, and you will get the rice or whatever. Now, if the paddy either you fry in the frying pan, or you boil it nicely, and you keep it, then what happens? Even next day, if you sow the seed, sprouts will come. Why? Because the power of germination has been removed, has been destroyed. So similarly, in the Brahmagnana, that Ajnana has been removed, the ignorance has been removed, attachment to the body and mind has been removed. As a result, the ego will not be there. No, very little ego just for the sustenance of the body can be there, but that is what Paka that is a ripened ego. So that ego will not create any more problems, or that ego will not create any bondages.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Mm.
Swamiji, I don't know, it is connected, means just I got that. Keep to one story is there regarding two Buddhist monk. One is young and another is senior monk. Senior monk pick up a lady to cross the river.
Yeah, you're right.
And afterwards, that young monk keep on thinking how the senior monk pick up the lady and all. But after a few hours, he was inquiring about I have left the girl over there, but you are still carrying it in your mind.
Yes.
And that's
But
what.
actually, Guru and disciple, I mean, a Guru and disciple were traveling, and there were a lady was drowned in the water. Guru immediately jumped and he saved her. Afterwards, he saved and he did a first aid to her, and they left. They were traveling. So it happened in morning and evening when they sat for meditation. Before meditation, the disciple asked, Guru, if you don't mind, I have got a question. What is that? How did you are being a monk, how did you touch a woman? He said, my dear, it was only apatkala dharma. There are called apatkala dharmas, according to me, because a person is dying. So she is a woman, but still I am not a monk, is not supposed to touch her and other things. Because to save her life, I saved her, protected her, and I saved her, and I left her. I left her morning itself after protecting her. But till now, you are carrying in your mind, you are really holding her. I am not really holding. Yes, that is what the happens. In the Brahmajnani's case, they don't hold the world. We hold the world in our mind. That is what the real holding actually. That's why internal renunciation, ahankara mamakara tyaga is the greatest renunciation and it is the most important ones actually. Yeah.
Maharaj, I have one question. I don't know if time will permit. Shall I ask?
Mm.
Okay, so you said one statement that consciousness is not limited by boundaries of body, right?
Mm.
And it was related. So can we relate this to this fact that here in the shloka it is said it is the ear of the ear, mind of the mind. So it's like whatever the object, it's like water. Whatever glass you pour into or whatever bottle you pour into, it acquires that shape. So for ear, it enables the function of hearing. For mind, it enables the function of intellect and ego. But it is that same principle, but it has the ability to take different forms and different functions. Is it that it transcends boundary because it can take any form and it can uh, give its power to any functions?
Okay, no. So when you say Shrotasya Shotram Manaso Manoyad, what you should understand here is what consciousness is not the part or product or property of the body. First point, as I told you. Okay, first. The second is what consciousness is different from the body, mind, and sense organ. It is different from the body, mind, sense organ, but it is it is completely it is there occupied in the body, mind, and sense organ. It is not only occupied, it is making them to work. Okay, second point. Now, consciousness is not limited by boundaries, means what? Consciousness not in the, it is not only in your body. For an example, here, there is an empty space here. Here, consciousness exists, yes. So one is consciousness survives after the death. The third one. The fourth is consciousness is not limited by the body, means what? Boundaries of the body. Consciousness is limited, cannot be limited by time and space actually. Because it is the subject, it is never the object. In the empty space, is there consciousness? Yes, it is there. Then why it is not aware? Because there is no reflecting medium, that's all. And Shrotasya Shotram Manaso Manoyad, when telling means what? So the consciousness is the root or the source, powerhouse by which everyone is working, everything is getting worked actually. It is not the I is working. It is not the I has got a power. The I has got power, whatever the power of I, it has got from the consciousness. It has borrowed from the consciousness. Just like moon has borrowed the power from the sun. So I has got borrowed the consciousness from the borrowed power from the consciousness and it is working. It is just an instrument. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji. Pranam.
Divine dreams. Yeah. Class went on long. Yeah.
Pranam Maharaj. We never felt it goes so long.